And welcome back. We're the Spoiler Kings. I'm Brian the Grizzly here with Brandman Brandon. We're going to talk Alien Romulus, this big movie that came out this weekend. Uh, I enjoyed it, but let's talk a little bit about the film. Brandman, can you go ahead and let us know what it's about?
I sure can. All right. While scavenging the deep ends of a derelict space station, a group of young space colonists come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Pretty much it.
um, very I mean, new cast, which was interesting. So we have it's a Kaylee Spaney,
Mhm.
Archie Renault, Isabella Merced. Is that what her saying?
Mhm.
Merced,
I think it's Merced.
Merced. And in
Mhm.
my opinion, the star was David Johnson
Oh yeah.
by far. Like in this movie,
Mhm.
he was the most interesting, well acted part of the entire thing. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Easily.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this movie for a scary movie that I don't go do. I
Mhm.
think life is already scary enough, but whatever. It is what it is. Why don't you go ahead and tell us your likes, Brandman?
I liked. Well, I really like the Alien franchise, and I think this was more along the lines of the first one in terms of it really dealt with it really played with the concept of sometimes less is more, which I
Hmm.
really appreciated. But I thought it was a pretty decent amalgamation of the previous movies. Like it kind of had the tension of the first one. It had it had the action aspect of the second one, and it had like the what the hell is that element of Alien Resurrection.
Okay.
Even had a little bit, even had a couple elements from uh, three, which is probably my. Well, I want to say I take that back. Three is not my least favorite. That's probably Prometheus and Covenant. But I thought there were enough elements there, and I liked that. I really liked the set designs. I thought it was pretty well acted. Like you said, the acting around the table was pretty decent, was pretty good. But this was really David Johnson's time to shine. Like he was great in this. He was easily the best character. I thought he was his acting skills were on the most display here. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed. I'm not sure if I'd find it scary so much as I
It wasn't
it
even
had
suspenseful. I don't know. It had some
it
jump
had,
things. It wasn't even scary.
mm,
Like
yeah, it had there were some tense moments,
not tense. Yeah.
and I liked how it kind of fit itself in between the first and the second movie, but it also kind of stood on its own, which I really appreciated about it.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
I
And
understand.
it really went all in with the horror concept that no one was safe,
Yeah.
which I really liked.
Well, I mean, you go into an alien movie, you expect everyone to die
Mm-hmm.
because if they didn't all die or some way, you could ruin the other movies, especially when it's in betwinkle. 'Cause, it's right in
Mm-hmm.
between Alien and Aliens, so you knew most of these people had to be gone. By the end. Um, I thought it was. I don't know if it was well written. Sure,
Mm-hmm.
they thought out the concept. I had some issues with some other things. I want to get to that later. The kids were okay. Only one was annoying, but then the person you found annoying, you found, oh yeah, his parent just died 3 weeks ago. Okay, makes sense. You could be annoyed.
Oh yeah, Bjorn
Yeah, Bjorn
or
was.
however he says it.
Yeah,
Screw that guy.
well, he's part of the cause of all
Mhm.
this stuff. If
He
they
was
only
a
listened,
dickhead.
if they only listened, none of this stuff would happen. Andy
Mhm.
had the plan. He's like, look, let them go.
Yep.
Let them. She got to die. We can get out of
Mhm.
here. So if you don't let that one die, now everyone dies. That's kind of where you come to. But I thought that the jumps were okay. I don't think they were very scary, but I thought that they were tense. I think the characters made a lot of stupid decisions, and you get away with that by making them teens, by saying,
Mhm.
they don't have the life experience. But I like the idea that they're trying to make a life better for them. They didn't want to die like their parents, that just being, you know, doing the same thing over and over again, just being drones. So I thought that was very smart to show that way. And because it kind of vibes with a lot of todayness, people from
Mhm.
today, and I thought that was okay.
I appreciated that too. I liked that they weren't, like Space Marines or that sort of thing. It reminded me of the first one where, like the main characters in the first movie, with the exception of Ripley, they were all like blue collar, like essentially space jockeys or space truckers,
Mhm.
just trying to get paid. They
Same thing
were
with it.
they were
These are all
working
minors.
working stiffs. Yeah.
They're all minors trying to get out, and then the company keeping them in.
hmm
Um, but yeah, no, I thought that overall I enjoyed most of the movie and thought it was okay. All right, what
hmm
bads do you have, Brandman?
I think some of the callbacks to the previous movies felt very forced. Especially the famous line. They even get away from her, you bitch. And
Yeah.
I think that the way that the way that the way that it was used in Aliens was iconic. Let's face it; it's like one of the most popular sci-fi lines ever. And this with Andy saying, "Get away from her, you bitch," just felt there for the sake of being there.
Mm.
It didn't need to be there. There were a couple other callbacks, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of them just kind of felt obligatory. Basically, the director, Fede Alvarez, saying, "Oh, see, I watched that last movie. I watched that last movie. You could have kind of done without the callbacks." Uh, I think the CG for the Ian Holm robot from the first movie
Mm.
was super distracting. I think they could have, if they had him where like his face was all kind of jacked up and you really couldn't make out anything and done it practical. I think that would have been a lot better. It didn't. It really didn't even need to be Ian Holm. It could have been a different synthetic from the corporation. You know, I think it would have been fine if they did it that way. I think that the first two and a half acts were like really, really solid. And then
Mhm.
I felt like the second half of the third act kind of lost its footing a little bit.
And they
I'd
ended
say
it
those
and
were,
then ended it again.
yeah, yeah. Mhm. I think I could have done with just one ending.
Uh,
Mhm.
I agree with that. Um, so I think my biggest problem is exactly what you're talking about is so Rook in this movie, the Ian Holm AI. So this is Ian
Mhm.
Holm died like 2 years ago, right? So
Mhm.
or maybe 2021, maybe it's 3 years ago. So he's dead. So the idea that you brought him back, right? In AI was like weird. I think that's
Mhm.
bad on the company to do that. Why would you have to do that? Because you didn't need him to be that. You could have did any robot because it was not the same character. So
Mhm.
the idea is that they're the same generation, but it wasn't Ash. So originally, an alien, the first alien is Ash. This
Zash,
one
yep.
he was Rook, but it was just the
Mhm.
same generation of robot to try to tie that together. But I didn't feel like you needed to do that. You didn't need to try to tie it together. So why are you disrespecting or pull in someone who it does not necessarily need to be there? If someone's dead, don't do I don't need CGI to do that. And he was a major character. You didn't need that. We can understand that what he is. He's artificial intelligence. We can just know that what's going on. You didn't need to bring in a
Absolutely.
character from that first one. There's no reason to do that at all.
I agree.
I didn't like that. I thought,
Me neither.
um, once again, the kids were making a lot of stupid decisions, you know. Um,
Mhm.
Even though like something seemed genius, like, hey, turn off the gravity when you shoot people so the acidic blood doesn't open up a hole. But then when you have to remember, once you do turn it back in, turn it back on, it is going to still eat through the ship and it's going to become a vacuum. So
Mhm.
like they forgot about a few things. The fuel. I don't remember them taking the fuel out, right? From where they were. They had it. I don't remember them bringing the bodies out and taking the fuel out, and then they all of a sudden they had it again. So I thought that was a little strange in itself. Um and as I said, the ending of the movie just was almost weird. The ending of the movie was just wasn't as good as it could have been.
I agree.
So I think those were my biggest problems overall.
Mhm.
Oh, what? Dark room. Thank you, gifting a
Thank
membership.
you, Dark Room.
Appreciate you. So yo, appreciate y'all. We appreciate you. I'll check it out your physical media pool that you just did. Was it yesterday? So or that was today. So I just saw that. So thank you again for doing that for us. Yeah. Appreciate you. Um, but yeah, no, those were my biggest problems overall.
Mhm.
Um, Overall, so what do you get this movie?
Um. Oh, dude. Yeah. This
No,
is
no.
this
So
is
like,
a
do you think like
now.
do you think no not this? Do you like it? Is it
Oh, I'm
good?
sorry.
Was it good overall? Like, what are your overall final thoughts on it?
Oh, okay. I got ahead of myself. Oh, I really liked it. I thought that it was along the lines of, when I think of Alien, Brian, I think of, kind of like a slower, more uh, contained suspense story, like kind of like a horror suspense. When I think of Alien, I think of the tagline for the first one: in space, no one can hear you scream.
Hmm.
I associate that concept with Alien more than I do the sci-fi action concept of the second movie, which I think the second one's like the big one that most people kind of associate with the franchise as a whole. Um, or maybe I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but I really enjoyed it. I like that it captured what I've always associated with Alien. That smaller, sometimes less is more. It's more about the tension rather than what you see on screen
Hmm.
sometimes. So I thought it executed that very well. I thought that the acting was pretty good. It did have a couple stock characters, but you kind of expect that. But I thought David Johnson was just absolutely incredible in it. I thought just kind of how he did that complete character switch early on in the movie was very, very effective and even kind of frightening at times.
Hmm.
You know, um, that dude's got a career ahead of him, and yeah, I thought a good amount of effort and thought went into it, and I really like that they went practical with a pretty good amount of stuff too, in
A
terms
lot
of
of it. A lot of
yeah,
it.
the set pieces, the xenomorphs themselves, the face huggers. So I like that it wasn't like a CGI overabundance. It used it to the right effect. And like I said, the climax of the movie even, uh, I didn't expect them to go there, but I thought it was pretty effective.
I really liked the first 2/3 of the movie a lot. I
Mhm.
thought that they did a
Yeah.
really good job with a lot of stuff. The action was really cool. Um, seeing remembering it's in space in involving the space concept in every
Mhm.
single scene, I thought that was really key. It's a key thing to do. You need to make sure you're involving those things. So
Mhm.
like it was when so though I complained about them doing what they did with acid and forgetting. I thought that the scene looked amazing and the idea was amazing and seeping through and then using that and keeping it smart the way you used it at the end of the movie. I love that. Speaking of the end of the movie, what did you think about the hybrid?
That's exactly what I was talking about. I actually kind of liked that
It kind of brought the
because
other movies together too, you know.
it did. It brought the other movies together, and specifically, I thought it was a callback to Alien Resurrection as well as Prometheus and Covenant to an extent.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was surprised by how much I liked that. I think that hybrid was freaking creepy too.
It was creepy and it was so smart. So now it brings you
Mhm,
back to Prometheus, even though people didn't not like a lot of Prometheus.
mhm.
That was cool because you understood that they're the architects, right? And you bring
Yeah,
the architect of us, you know. So when you add our likeness to that, you get architects. That was
exactly.
cool. That was so awesome. I just love the way they looked. It was so weird, so creepy. Oh man. That was weird. But I
Mhm,
enjoyed it. And the way she killed him was so smart and getting the suit. All of that seemed like it was thought out really, really well.
mhm.
I also said I like the hybrid too. So only things I didn't like was why did the chick get the goo? Take that goo. Why did she didn't know what it was. They already decided against giving her the shot. Why would she then go ahead and do it?
Yeah, why? Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, once she did that, I kind of had an idea of what was coming,
T
or not
says
what exactly was coming, but something was going to happen.
T said he wasn't a fan of it. I can see both sides though. I mean, you
Mhm,
understand why if you wanted Alien very much like the original Alien, then let's focus on the Alien. The reason why
mhm.
you do that is to bring in Prometheus because the other movies were there. So some people are gonna like it, some people are not. But I thought it looked cool. I don't know if the story all matched up, but at least it looked cool.
Yeah.
Um, I'm happy Andy lived. All of
Mhm,
that. Um, but I'm going to say once again that David Johnson did an amazing job. Um, going from a broken AI to the upgrade, you could see the upgrade. You could understand that he was very much strong and fit and all those things. Um, that was the right way of doing it. So
mhm.
I enjoyed seeing him doing, and I think he's going to be a star. I think he's going to be someone that's going to be in a lot of movies going forward, and I think you can put him in a lot of different genres.
Yeah, I I think he's got a career ahead of him for sure.
So
I think he's
that's
on a
probably
show called Industry, if I'm not mistaken. I think I've
really
kind
he's
of
on
seen him
industry.
here. Yeah.
Wow. I like him, so
Mhm.
that's good.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to rate the movie. Here, the Spoiler Kings, we rate things a little bit differently. We rate our movies now. That means you need to stop what you're doing and watch this immediately. Later, whenever you get a chance to watch it, if it's streaming, go ahead and watch it. And never, it's so bad that we don't ever need to talk about this ever again. So, Brandman, where do you rate this movie?
This is definitely, I know I had gotten ahead of myself a few minutes ago. This is a now for me for sure. Uh, I think that if you're an Alien fan, I think you'll definitely appreciate it, even if you're not, because I think it really stands on its own. I think that, like I said, it's got a little bit of all genres that you associate with Alien in there. Thought from an acting standpoint, it was very good. It was another pleasant surprise this summer because I wasn't quite sure what to think, but
Mm,
I did go in knowing that I really enjoyed a lot of the director's past work. Fede Alvarez, I liked his Evil Dead from 2013. I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed Don't Breathe. So I thought that he was when I heard he was doing this. I was pretty confident he was going to nail like the tension element of it because he's done pretty well with that in the past, and it really kind of surpassed my expectations. I didn't think I was gonna. I didn't think or know if I was gonna enjoy it this much, just because the last kind of handful of Alien movies have been that all over the place for me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, to have a director that is that good with tension and kind of subtle horror, that was the best. That was the best thing for for the movie. So yeah, I thought Fede Alvarez delivered. So yeah, this is definitely an out for me.
Okay. I've struggled with this. I had a problem with Fede Alvarez bringing Ian home back, but that's my own personal problem. I don't think that was
Mhm.
necessary. I thought that this movie overall was good. It was
Mhm.
well made. The acting was above par. Um, it wasn't scary though, so I'm expecting it to go back to more horror type of thing, and the genre
Mhm.
said horror, and it was more suspense than it
Yeah.
was horror. So that kind of took me back a little bit. But as far as things that I've seen in the movie theater, this is probably one of the funner things. And like literally until I saw the hybrid, I didn't jump at all. But I was entertained. The idea that you gotta be quiet and they create turn the heat to 98.1 degrees to make sure, 98.7 degrees to make sure it's like the heat of a body temperature. That was smart. Like
Mhm.
I obviously thought out this plot. So I'm gonna give it a now. It just made a now for me because of the time period. Um,
Mhm.
I can see someone giving it a later, but for the genre, because if you thought it was gonna be horror, it's not horror. If you thought it was gonna be
Definitely
just
not
all
horror.
action, it's not just action. So it's if you went in looking for any of those, you would probably say later. I just thought it was a good movie, so I'm gonna say now. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what the way I feel about that one. But yeah. What do you What do you think they're gonna do? So, as far as the next franchise, do you think has legs? Do they do another one? Is this gonna be in between Aliens? Are we done with Andy?
I wouldn't mind seeing more of Andy, or, and for that matter, the character of Rain, Kaylee
Rain?
Stan's character.
Hmm.
Uh, at the same time, I'd be good if they didn't do anything with them. But it's Alien; they'll keep doing something. I know there's a TV series that they're working on for FX, if I'm not mistaken, right now,
Yep.
called Alien Earth. So I'm sure this will catch on enough to where they do something different with to where they continue it in some capacity. I just want them to do it right, like I said, because I wasn't the biggest fan of Prometheus or Alien Covenant. I thought they were just like massive letdowns.
Right. Okay, I
So
understand that. Understand that.
mhm,
Um, I don't want it to. I want this to be a one-off.
mhm. Yeah,
Principal, I
I'd
want this to
be.
be a one-off. I think this is good, just being what it is, and not trying to make it
Mhm,
into more. Try to drag your feet on all this stuff. I would rather just be what it is, enjoy the movie, and move on.
mhm,
Hopefully that's what they do, but I'm not 100% sure that's what we're gonna get. So,
mhm.
um, but I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind if I see David again. So if you put something else, like they do a TV show or something like that, you bring David around because he once again doesn't have to. He can live. You know, he doesn't. He's
Mhm.
not necessarily going to age out. So
Exactly.
that's why. Yeah. As far as Rotten Tomatoes goes, all the critics gave it an 81%. The
Mhm.
audience gave it a little bit higher. What do you think the audience gave it?
91.
At 86.
Mhm.
So I mean, 81 from them, 86 from the audience, pretty close. So overall, it seems like everyone's enjoying this sci-fi horror type of movie or Alien Romulus. But we want to know what you guys think. If you're watching this later, tell us: did you enjoy it? Did you like the characters? Do you think the writing was good? Do you want to see another one? Do you want to see a sequel, or do you want to see them go to another area and have something else, a different location? As T so eloquently said, agree. I hope we get a different location with different people in the next one.
That's the nice thing about Alien is there's a lot you can do. You can kind of jump around from place to place or different parts in space in the galaxy. You could do more on Earth in the future. That I don't think they've done a whole lot with that concept. So there is wiggle room for that. That's the nice thing about Alien is you can there's a lot that you can do. You know, see it.
If you guys agree with that, let us know in the comments and let us know if you want to see more of Andy. Do you want to see more more of these characters, or do you want to see new characters? So that's what we're thinking about it right now. I think this is good. I'm glad the timing is probably going to keep the box office for next couple of weeks. So
Hmm.
we'll see. It's going to be interesting. Um,
Yep.
one last question: would you have rather this been released in late September, early October, or
Mm,
there's no need?
this was fine. This was a fine release date. I was good with this.
Okay. All
You
right,
know,
guys. Let us know what you guys think about this because this is what we're saying. This is where we are for this movie. And we're gonna go to our next topic. But if you are sticking with us, we're just gonna keep it going. If you're seeing us later, we will see you guys on the next video. So thanks.
see you guys.